All right, y'all, here we go with another live capture from last weekend's Harris County Democratic Party Convention, Houston, Texas, at the University of Houston. What follows here is the live speaker presentation. In order, you're going to hear Emcee and Lincoln Project co-founder Rick Wilson, Harris County Commissioner Lesley Briones, Harris County Commissioner Adrian Garcia, Harris County Democratic Party Chair Mike Doyle, Congressman Al Green, Texas Democratic Party Chair Kendall Scudder, former Congressman Kinzinger, Harris County Democratic Party Chair-elect Traci Gibson, and former Congressman and Powered by People founder Beto O'Rourke. See the show notes for timestamps of all of those, but we encourage you to listen straight through. It's great stuff. The first voice you're going to hear here is Jeff Hilton, the executive director of the 2026 Harris County Democratic Party Convention. Massive success all around, and we were proud to be there. Here we go.
The entire goal of this convention is a kickoff to winning the midterms in November. That's our goal. And that's what we're going to do by working together. And to do that, we have to focus on what those things that bind us together, what we have in common. We come from different religions or no religion. We come from different ethnic groups. We're Democrats, of course. We come from people are progressive, people are moderate, some of different ethnic groups. We can find all kinds of differences, but we got to get past those differences and have maybe uneasy conversations and uneasy alliances where we focus on that which binds us together. Because if we do that, we're going to win. We can't have it. And we need to win. I mean, there's a pretty simple equation. If we win the House in November, and I think we also can win the U.S. Senate, we can do a lot of things. We can stop the madness, stop the corruption, and we can impeach the shit out of Trump. And unlike the previous attempts at impeachment, if we do it when we own the Senate and the House, we will accomplish it. So I encourage you, go to these different booths, visit with these people, talk to them, see what they're doing, find those groups and organizations and entities that appeal to you. Go to the breakout sessions, figure out, attend those, learn about some more in-depth kind of activities. I realize so many of you are so involved. If you're a precinct chair, why don't you just stand up for a second? Wow. Thank you, and thank you for being here. And I love that because the precinct chairs, for those of you who didn't stand up, the precinct chairs are the official representatives of the party in your neighborhood. But what we accomplished, and I appreciate this, about half the people didn't stand up right now. Either you're lazy or you're not a precinct chair, which is great, which is exactly what we wanted. We wanted people coming here and saying, you know what, I want to see more about this. I want to do more than just gripe. I want to see more. I want to get involved. I want to do things, and you're here. So with that, that's enough advertising. Let me introduce Rick Wilson. Thank you. So Rick got a bigger applause line than I got. So yeah, there we go. Thank you, Rick.
All right. You guys have been given an enormous gift. And I'll tell you what it is. It's that Donald Trump is the single worst president in the history of any presidency anywhere in the known universe and in every alternate universe. And he has made such an incredible moment in this country because he has wrecked our economy. He has destroyed our unity as a people. He has assaulted our Constitution. He has consistently done everything possible to send one signal: kick my ass and kick the people who support me out of Congress. And all of you have an opportunity this year to be a central part of that. You guys are doing the work at the grassroots, at the base, and here in Houston, you have an opportunity this year to absolutely train wreck the Republican Party of Texas. It is not going to be easy because I will be realistic with you. I'm a former Republican and I was very good at my work. I took your lunch money a lot. But I want to say this very clearly for all of you. The moment has changed. The country has changed. The MAGA party is not the old GOP. It's not the old Republicans. They are something darker and more evil, and they are directed by hatred at a level you can't understand. And they have a lot of money, and they have very good operators. So that is why you need to keep your chins up. You need to be ready every day to get in the fight, because it will be a fight. It will be a battle. They will do everything they can to dishearten you. They'll do everything they can to knock you down. So you wake up in the morning and think, I can't do it. It's too hard. No, it's not. For 10 years, I've gotten up in the morning and asked myself one thing: how do I kick that fucker's ass today? I was honored to be a founding member of the Lincoln Project. Some of you have heard of us. We are a group of former Republicans who do not care for Mr. Trump, and the feeling is quite mutual. I love when Trump threatens to sue me. He's threatened to sue me like 6 times now, and every time I just go online, I go on Instagram or Twitter, and I go, all right, bitch, sue me. Do it. Do it. One day I said, do it, round boy, which apparently really pissed him off. Not that I'm not a round boy, but anyway, long story short, what we do at the Lincoln Project is we peel off some of those people who used to be Republicans, but they're not MAGA. They've moved to the independent side. Some of them are still sort of behavioral Republicans, but they're not Trumpers. It's not a ton of them. In 2020, Steve Bannon, my good friend, oh, believe me, there's a longer story than that. The irony should have been more richly delivered on that. He said if the Lincoln Project can take 3% away from Trump, he can't win the election. And I said, hold my beer. We got 4.6% of Republicans to vote for Joe Biden. In 2024, we actually moved nearly 5% of Republicans to vote for Kamala Harris, but because of a lot of other factors, we couldn't pull that over the line. What we do is communicate and talk to people in a narrative they get. We meet the voters where they are. We also have to talk to some conservative Democrats who were lured over to Trump. It's a fact. You guys got to look your friends in the eye, because they're not all progressives, and that's okay. You need a bigger coalition. You don't win by shrinking your coalition. You win by growing it. We talk to those people too. This is why we have to win. He's protected by a cult in the House and the Senate right now. This is why we have to win. He is selling out our men and women in uniform, putting them into a war that no one wanted or needed, and they're going to die because he loves Vladimir Putin so much. It's obscene, it's absurd. It's one of the reasons I get up in the morning. Anyway, folks, let's get moving on the program. Lesley Briones, Harris County Commissioner, Precinct 4. Bring it on.
Thank you. Let's hear it for Rick Wilson. And let's hear it for Jeff Hilton and all of the organizers of today's convention. Good afternoon, Harris County Democrats. Buenas tardes, demócratas del Condado Jerez. It energizes me to my soul to be here. And first and most importantly, I want to say thank you. Thank you to our organizers. Thank you to our sponsors. Thank you to our precinct chairs. If you could stand up one more time. Thank you. Thank you to everyone who serves as an election judge or election worker. Can you stand up? You're on the front lines of protecting our voting rights. Woo! Thank you for being on the front lines protecting our voting rights. Thank you to our Democratic Club leaders. Please stand so we can say thank you. And to every single one of you that volunteers to make calls, to write postcards, to knock doors, to make donations, which is everyone in this room, thank you. Let's give a Texas-sized thank you. And to my family, I have 3 daughters. My youngest is here today, Ana Lucia Briones. And my mom and my dad and my tia and my tío. And to all of my team members, thank you so much. It's an honor to work alongside you. But I'm here today because I know we are all proud Democrats. And I know we are tired having lost time and time again for the last 30 plus years. This is our time. with Trump, with Abbott's extremism. This is our time to win. If we can channel our anger, our sadness, our disappointment, but most importantly, our hope, if we can harness it, let us show Texas and let us show the country and the world that it is Texas Democrats that are the party of working people. Harris County Commissioner's Court, I am proud that Harris County is blue. And Abbott, Harris County is not for sale, so take your money somewhere else. What my colleagues and I, what your Democratic Harris County Commissioner's Court has shown is that we deliver for working families. Whether it is raising the Harris County minimum wage for our workers to $20 an hour, to making the largest investment in apprenticeships in Harris County's history and one of the largest in the country's history, to supporting small businesses and starting a revolving loan fund, to making sure we're taking care of our seniors and the disabled, raising the property tax exemption to a height that has never been here in Harris County. We are fighting for working families. We are fighting to make Harris County and Texas more affordable. It is Democrats that are fighting and delivering on public safety. Whether it's investing in our public defender's office, in our district attorney's office, in mental health diversion programs, in new courts, it is Democrats that are keeping your families safe. We need to set the record straight, Democrats. Like hell, they are the party of working families and safety. On the contrary, they undermine our rights and our safety every single day. It is Democrats that are fighting and delivering on health care. Whether it is the amazing care that we give through our Harris Health facilities, whether it is the bringing world-class medical care into your community centers like at Bayland, it is Democrats delivering for health care. It is Democrats delivering on infrastructure, whether it is our flood bond projects, building more sidewalks than had ever been built in Harris County history, whether it is preparing for disasters so that your families are as safe as possible. That's what Democrats are doing here in Harris County. We are the party of justice. We are the party of equality. We are the party that respects our Constitution. We are the party of opportunity. We are the party, and we know we are. But what must we do to win? We must unite. We must, Democrats. Let's get out of our own way and let us unite. Let us be relentless. Because we know that the way we flip Texas, the way we turn Texas blue, is right here through Harris County. It is right here. We can, we must, and we will run up the score in Harris County so that we can give our children and grandchildren the Texas they deserve. So in closing, Harris County Democrats, will we unite? Will we unite? Are we ready to work? To make calls, to knock doors, to donate, to register voters, to make sure that every single one of them shows up to vote blue up and down that ballot. And Harris County Democrats, are we ready to win? Woo! So here we go to the future.
I don't know. I think Lesley's pretty good at this stuff. All right, folks. Next up on the agenda, Adrian Garcia. Where are you, Adrian Garcia? Come on out, buddy. Go get him.
Thank you, brother. Hey, Democrats! Are you in the house? Let me hear you. Let Texas hear you. Let the country hear you. God love you. God love you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here. Obviously, the good Lord gave us a beautiful day today, but you are inside because you care about our children. You care about our reproductive rights. You care about public education. You care about our families. Thank you. Thank you for being here today. And I also want to say, for those of you who have been long and tireless Democratic leaders in the Harris County Democratic Party, thank you. Let's give our long-time public servants, let's give them a nice round of applause. And how about Commissioner Lesley Briones? Let her hear you. Let her hear you. Let her hear you. Let her hear you. And shortly, we're going to be hearing from Congressman Adam Kinzinger. Let him hear you. And we need to thank him for his leadership. Give it up for Congressman Kinzinger. So I want to thank you all for your respective work. You are truly the wind beneath our wings. You are the ones that are empowering Commissioner Briones and all of us on Commissioner's Court to lead the way to show what true governance looks like with Democrats at the helm. You're the ones helping to make that possible. And so I'm immensely grateful to you. And I also want to say that without your support, we could go by the side way. We cannot let that happen. There is so much opportunity right now for us to unite. The Latino community, who had previously thought that El Distracto Gasolini, Don Flatulence would be their savior, they have recognized the farce that he is. Oh, and by the way, release the Trump Epstein files. Jimmy Kimmel, I'll pay you some money for that one later. But, right? But listen, we've got so much at stake. We got so much at stake. We need to continue to fight and move forward to bring others to the table to ensure that our party continues to grow. You have done a phenomenal job with your respective leadership, block walking, phone banking, talking to people, and registering voters. You have done a phenomenal job. But right now is not the time to take our foot off the accelerator. We've got to double down and make it happen even stronger and faster. There is a true sense of urgency. And then also, let's continue to remind our members of Congress that we need to fix a broken immigration system. We need to fix it so that we can truly be the nation, as we started, a nation of immigrants that continues to bring people here who want to do the good thing, who want to contribute to our community, and who want to raise their families in an incredible democracy. But we have to fight to protect it. God bless you. Keep moving forward. The fight continues.
Man, he's pretty good too. You guys have a good stable here. It is not always the case. Let's bring up Mike Doyle. Where you at, Mike? Mike Doyle.
Thank you. So good afternoon. As y'all know, when y'all came in, there's a reason why folks like Kendall, Scudder want to be here in Harris County. There is. And it's because at the end of the day, we truly have the weight of the world on our shoulders. The only way that we fix this state and fix this country is through this county. And so I want y'all at this point to kind of look around and see, because just 2 weeks ago, we did record turnout in this county. When I was sitting talking to the folks at Central Count who are working hard, and they're telling me, guess what? Clear Lake is the second largest vote center today. We have more Democrats showing up on the west side of the county than Republicans in precinct after precinct. We have more voter protection trained volunteers ready to deal with the wackadoodles that show up with drones at our voting stations. We've done the work. What you look around now and see the result of the momentum that you've built out there, knocking on doors, making calls, going through training, actually doing the hard work. So I have zero doubt, and I will stake everything on this. We're going to take care of Harris County in November. That's guaranteed. No doubt at all. The challenge is whether we do what this county always needs to do and what always has to happen to change this state. And that's to hit the 1.1 million Democrats showing up, which we have in this county, make this state understand how powerful, how great the communities we have together working here. And I know that where it starts at, where it really relies upon, is the folks in this room. Because from this nucleus that has been working together across every community, because the great thing about Harris County is it's not one community, it's not communities, it's the entire county. It's every corner of the county where we have so many different wonderful communities that understand now the work ahead of them. So I'll leave this with you. There is no doubt that we'll do what needs to be done in Harris County to make sure Harris County stays as blue, that we elect these great commissioners, we win these congressional seats that they thought they could take away, that we do everything that we've worked so hard for years now. But what I also know is starting in this room with the people that have already done this work, we don't just have the opportunity, we have the mission, which I know we can handle, to take Harris County to where it needs to be. Thank y'all very much. Thank y'all.
All right, folks. Let's give it up for the great Congressman Al Green.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you very much, everybody. By way of further introduction, I am the same Al Green who believes and has fought for equal pay for women. Women deserve equal pay for equal work. Currently, women earn about 85 cents for every dollar a man earns. I don't know a man that's worth 15 cents more than any woman. It's time to give women equal pay for equal work. I'm the Al Green who knows that the long arm of the law has no place in a woman's womb. It's time to make sure women have the right to choose. I'm the Al Green who understands that college students should not graduate with loans that would cost some 10 years or more to repay. I believe that in the richest country in the world, we can afford to have free college education for everybody. I'm the Al Green who believes that we have an unfit, unlawful president. I'm the Al Green who knows that there is but one way to deal with this man who is unfit, and that one way to deal with him is impeachment. I'm the Al Green who will bring articles of impeachment against Donald Trump. And friends, I'm also the Al Green who is not going to vote to send $200 billion to the Pentagon. Not going to do it. I'm the Al Green who believes that if we are to have true peace in what we call the Middle East, I'm the Al Green who's not afraid to say that the Palestinians deserve a state. They too have to have a homeland. They too have to have a homeland. I'm Al Green. I am an unbought, unbossed, liberated Democrat. But I may not be alone. If you're unbought, stand up. If you're unbossed, stand up. If you're unafraid, stand up. If you're willing to fight for your country, stand up. If you believe that we can win, stand up. Unbossed. You are liberated Democrats. Unbought, unbossed, unafraid.
All right, let's get Kendall Scudder out here. Kendall, come on out, brother.
Hi, how are ya? Harris County, the home of the Texas Democratic Party's coordinated campaign. Thrilled to be here today. Y'all, this year's been the hardest year of my life. It just has been, I'm gonna be honest with you. For a farm kid for East Texas, we've come a long way. When I came in as chairman of this party 1 year ago, we had crippling debt, over $500,000 in the hole. We didn't know how we were making payroll the next day. Fast forward 1 year, I'm proud to be the chairman of the debt-free Texas Democratic Party that has a $30 million coordinated campaign with funds secured. For the first time since 1972, we have a Democrat running in every state and federal office in Texas. Because if you're a Republican in this state, I don't care where you live, I don't care how long you've held office, you're gonna have to fight me for it. Fascists don't get a free pass in Texas. We took a Senate district in January and overperformed it by 31 points, flipping a seat in the Texas Senate. And just in this primary, for the first time in over 20 years, Democrats outvoted Republicans in Texas. That is the team movement we're building together. That is bottom up, not top down. This party does not belong to consultants or elected officials. This party belongs to you. If I have to say, leave you with one thing here today. In the last election, a lot of people, if I'd have asked you what the difference is between Democrats or what do they stand for, you'd have given me a bunch of different answers. And let's make real clear what it means to be a Texas Democrat. When I was a kid growing up in East Texas, I asked my mama what the difference was. She was a teenage mother that didn't vote. And she said, well, Democrats are for people, Republicans are for corporations, we're Democrats. She knew that not because some consultants told her to believe it. She knew that because for generations, this party delivered for families like ours. My granddaddy was born alone into a wash bucket with nobody in the room but his mama on a farm that only had electricity and clean water because of Franklin Roosevelt, the New Deal, and the Democratic Party. He walked to school on cattle paths, alternating the days he'd go with his brothers because they shared a single pair of boots. Schools mandated for the first time by Democrats. While Republicans kicked and screamed and called it socialism, he became the first person in our family that could read or write. And when the droughts hit East Texas in '59, my family lost everything. And we depended on programs in the Great Society like Medicare and Medicaid and expansions to Social Security, programs that reduced poverty in this country by 75%. Big, bold, progressive ideas that change lives for working class people. That is what this party is about. And as I wrap up today, I will tell you when we campaign around Texas, we aren't going to talk about preserving Social Security. We're going to talk to you about expanding Social Security. We're not going to talk about making sure you get to see a doctor when you're sick. We're going to talk about you being able to see a doctor before you get sick. This isn't about making sure our doors to the schools don't get barricaded. This is about making sure we have the best funded public schools in the world the way we did the last time Democrats ran Texas. Big, bold, progressive ideas that change lives for working class people. I'll see you in Corpus Christi, June 25th through June 27th, where we will change the course of history in Texas. Thank you for letting me be a part of it alongside of you.
I just wish y'all had a state chairman with some passion and commitment and energy, right? Wow. Woo! Feel like I need a cigarette. All right, we are going to bring up my good friend of yours, former Republican Congressman Adam Kinzinger, an all-around good dude, one of my favorites.
Thanks. Hi, everybody. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, give it up for my friend Rick Wilson, who's awesome, by the way. Hey, so you guys know I'm a Harris County resident now, right? So I'm here. And I also, for the first time, pulled a Democratic primary ballot this last election. Thank you. So, when I was back in 24, I spoke at the Democratic National Convention. And one of the things I said was, we're talking about this, I always jokingly said this, sometimes awkward alliance of people that, are coming together to defend our democracy. And there's one thing that's very clear to me. There is only one party that believes in, understands, and defends self-governance and democracy, and that is the Democratic Party. And there's no competition. I think it's pretty amazing in my mind that we are at the 250th anniversary of our country this year. And we're at a time where that very experiment and foundation and thing we have tried to perfect is at threat. But there's one thing that I always go back to, which is every generation in American history, every generation has faced a challenge. Now, that challenge might have been something as big as a civil war. That challenge might have been the civil rights movement. That challenge might have been the Gulf War. That challenge might have been World War II. But every generation in their own way has faced a challenge where people in the country have wondered, are we going to get through this? Are we going to survive? And there's something amazing about the United States of America, which is every time that we have faced that challenge, we have defeated it, and we've come out even stronger, and we've left the next generation a country greater than we inherited. And I do not believe that this challenge will be any different. I have seen, and I've got to tell you the difference between even talking to people last year versus this year. I have seen an energy rise up in Democrats, in independents, in fed up Republicans to say that I want to leave my children a country better than the one I inherited. And the guy right now that is occupying the President of the United States is the most ill-equipped, uninformed, illogical, and absolutely unqualified person to ever serve in that office. Donald Trump launches his own people at the Capitol and then claims it's Antifa. Donald Trump launches a war and then claims he had no choice, even though we supposedly destroyed everything 6 months ago. Donald Trump convinces people that to hate each other is an American value. He convinces people that division and separation is our future. And there is one party standing in the way to say, hell no, we will not be divided. We will defend this democracy. My grandfather stared down the Nazis in France in World War II. And he could never once, even talk about that publicly because of the emotional damage that was done. And that generation, we owe them a debt of gratitude in every generation since. We're not being asked to go to the shores. We're not being asked to sit in a trench. Our friends in Ukraine are, and they're willing to defend it. You and I are asked to do one thing, to not give up. And we will never give up. God bless you all.
Traci, Traci's taking over the Houston Democrats, and she's going to kick some ass.
Good afternoon, Democrats. Let me hear y'all make some more noise. Good afternoon, Democrats. It is exciting to see so many of you in here. We are at a crossroads, and it is time for us to win. November is going to be our time to turn Texas blue. I know you already heard that. They tell you the road to turning Texas blue runs through where? Harris County. I know you've already heard that we're not going to let Harris County be taken over by Greg Abbott, right? I know you already know we're not letting Donald Trump have Harris County, right? That's right. This work takes consistency. It takes dedication. And you all are here on a Saturday. You've been here for hours. And I want to give you all another round of applause for actually coming in and saying you want to learn more about this party. You want to learn more about how to do this work, because there is a lot of it to do. And I want to thank Mike Doyle for all of the hard work that he did to get this party where it is. Give him another round of applause. It's very important that we recognize everyone's hard work, and I want to thank all of you for voting for me to lead us into the next part of our future. Thank you so much. I'm excited. I'm ready to roll out my 100-day plan, and if you want to be on this team, if you want to be a part of the transition, I have space for you. I want to work with every single person in this room, because there's a place for everyone in this movement. So thank you all for being here today. I look forward to talking to you, and let's win in November, guys.
Video? You gonna try it?
I have one more thing. When I was in law school, there was this guy, and he was electric. Wait a minute, hold on now, not like that. Not like that. Different story, exactly. He literally carried an entire ballot on his back. He got 19 judges elected. He made sure that he worked for every single person from the top to the bottom of the ballot. He got me involved in the Democratic Party because I believed in his message. And he is here today to rile you up a little bit more than I just did. So I want to have the honor of introducing you to Beto O'Rourke.
Hey. Thank you all. Wow. Thank you. Let's hear it for our new chairwoman, who's bringing such a fierce fire to the fight in front of us. This is the leader that we need right now, Traci Gibson. Let's hear it for the man who brought us here, Mike Doyle, who's worked tirelessly, month in, month out, year in, year out. And as Traci and so many others have recognized, to the precinct chairs who are doing the work that so often goes unrecognized, whose names will not be known, whose songs may never be sung, at least publicly, but are meeting voters where they are in their communities, at their doors, in the streets, to make sure that we come through for our country at this extraordinary moment of truth. You know, being here today and getting a chance to see so many of you again, when the first time we crossed paths was in 2017 and 2018, and you took a chance on this no-name congressman from El Paso, Texas, who had more of you knew Terry O'Rourke than knew Beto O'Rourke at the time. It may still be true, Terry, here in Harris County at least. But I want you to think about where we were during Trump's first midterm. You remember the cruelty, the chaos, the corruption, the crimes that he was committing in broad daylight, the kids in cages, the families who were separated, mothers who had traveled 2,000 miles for the same reason you would travel the same distance if it were the only way you could save the life of your precious child. And when they arrived at this country's front door right here in the great state of Texas, the Trump administration kidnapped that child from the arms of her mother, sent her back, the mom, to Honduras, placed that kid in what is the worst foster care system in America, bar none, run by Greg Abbott, into the ground to the deaths and detriment of countless children. That was happening. But we said, not on our watch. And we got together, right? We wrote nobody off. We took no one for granted. We went to each and every single of the 254 counties of Texas, writing nobody off and taking no one for granted. That means we were in Harris County more than we were anywhere else, and you all repaid the favor. You block walked for us, you talked to your neighbors, you met total strangers, and you brought them into one of the most powerful campaigns that I have ever been a part of, not for the candidate, and not even for the party to which I belonged, but for the people of Texas. Together, we generated greater turnout than we had ever seen in this state's history. We won more votes than any Democrat since LBJ in 1964. 19 beautiful black women won election to judicial positions in Harris County, changing the face of criminal justice in the process. We won the county judge. We had a majority on the commissioner's court. Lizzie Panel Fletcher beat an incumbent, entrenched, well-funded Republican. Colin Allred did it in North Texas. Some unknown, unheard of young upstart named James Tallarico defeated an incumbent Republican to win his state house race. It was a sea change across Texas, and the point I want to make is not only through Texas and our work here in Harris County did we win a majority in the House of Representatives so that we could have the back of Al Green and put him in the majority to do the work that we needed him to do. Not only did we almost take out that beautiful human being, Ted Cruz, from the junior senator position. Every time I see that ugly mug on TV. But we changed what was possible in Texas. So many of you signed up not just to block walk for our campaign, but to serve as precinct chairs or precinct captains in your neighborhoods where you lived. In other words, good things rolled forward from the effort that we put in, even though we didn't beat that guy at the end of the day, 2.6% down at the end of the election in November of 2018. We are still reaping the benefits of the work that we have done. I want you to think about that when I ask you to think about where we are today in Trump's second and last midterm. Not just the last midterm for him, but the last midterm of the MAGA movement. The cruelty, the corruption, the criminality has only grown worse. It's more in your face than it's ever been, and he seeks to project an air of inevitability. Look, I can commit these crimes in broad daylight because I will never face justice or accountability or a courtroom or a prison cell. That's what he and his oligarchs and his family and his cabinet want us to believe. But I want you to think about this. You know, the ICE raids, the murders of our fellow Americans in the streets, the kidnapping and separating of families, the corruption of the Trump crime syndicate that's on display right now. The stakes in this election could not be any greater. If we win here in Texas, it means that not only do we hold the majority in the House of Representatives, but we, through James Tallarico, are the 51st vote in the U.S. Senate. That means that we have a check on Trump's criminality. There will be accountability for his corruption and the very real prospect that we will have free and fair elections in 2028 for the presidency. But if we fail, and we have to know the consequences of what happens if we don't put in the work and win these elections, then not only will you see ICE raids, these mass plainclothes thugs without warrants or badges beating up and killing Americans on the streets, that will be but a pale preview of what is to come in this country. Against Al Green's vote, the Republican majority approved $35 billion in new ICE detention capacity at a time that we have record low levels of immigration, record high levels of deportation. Who are those detention cells for? But not all of us who do not stand up to be counted at this moment of truth. And you know that a Republican majority will roll out the royal red carpet for a third Trump term. But here's the good news. Here's the good news. We have never been stronger. He has never been weaker. Think about this. The polls show that he is more unfavorable than any president in U.S. history, including the first Trump presidency. It turns out that Americans do not like tax breaks for billionaires and corporations at the expense of cutting our fellow Texans off of Medicaid and the ability to see a doctor. They don't want another war of choice in the Middle East that will cost billions, if not trillions, of national treasure and consume the lives of our fellow Americans and the people that we attack in the name of this country abroad. They do not like these thugs breaking up our families and invading our communities at the behest of the president. This guy is weak and unpopular. That's why he sought to redraw 5 congressional districts in the state of Texas. But let me show you how we're strong. In the primary election that we just held, more than 100,000 more Democrats voted than Republicans in this supposedly reliably red state. In four of those 5 gerrymandered congressional districts, more Democrats voted than Republicans. We're going to win them in November. And as Kendall said, for the first time since 1974, there are 150 Democrats running in 150 House seats for the state. There are 38 members of Congress who are being contested by Democrats in every single district. 16 state Senate seats, 16 Democrats running. Every single place on the ballot has a Democrat. We are fighting on every front for the first time in my lifetime. But look, Trump, if nothing else, is a student of power. He understands the epicenter of it for our country is right here in Texas, and the front line of this epicenter is Houston. So he is not done fucking with our elections simply with this gerrymander of 5 congressional districts. There is more fuckery on the horizon. Let me describe it to you. You know those mass plainclothes federal goons that you saw on the streets of Minneapolis that show up in the federal courthouse in Houston? I promise you, they will be at the polling place in your precinct when early voting starts, trying to dissuade and intimidate our fellow Americans from freely and fairly casting a ballot. The voter rolls that our governor unconstitutionally and illegally sent to the president earlier this year, it will be used to purge your friends and family and neighbors and students at the University of Houston from being able to cast their ballot. So look, this is going to be a new step for us Democrats. Well, present company excluded, but for the rest of our party. We are not going to wait for the blow to land. We are going to throw the first punch and the second punch and the third punch, and we are going to keep punching until we win this fight. Off the ropes, off the back foot, onto the front, no more defense, offense all the time. You all with me? So, in addition to what you're doing, to your work as a precinct chair, as a precinct captain, the groups and the organizations that you participate in our politics with, I'm going to make this appeal. Our organization, Powered by People, which grew out of the field operation that we all ran together in 2017 and 2018, the largest field operation in Texas history, is posting up on college campuses all across this state. Just this year, I've been to UHD, I've been to Rice, we were at Prairie View A&M in Waller County, Lone Star College as well. We're showing up everywhere for everyone, every single time, to make sure they're registered, to update their voter registration. My friends from TSU, we are going to come back and see you soon. And in every instance, we make a personal connection, face to face, human to human, Texan to Texan. And we stay in touch with that voter, very often young voters, the very targets for this voter suppression and voter intimidation, to answer any questions that they have, to remove any obstacles in their way, to nudge them to vote when they need a helping hand to push them along. In 2024, when we ran this program, young voter turnout at large in this state was 39%. But for the young people that we brought in through Powered by People, the turnout rate was 79%, almost double the rate. I want you to think about joining us because this year, given what Trump is likely to do in purging the voter rolls in Texas, staying in touch with these voters, helping them to restore their voting rights when they are illegally taken away, has to be a priority if we are going to win. Now, last thing, 7 months to go, right? And undoubtedly, after today, there's going to be some doubt that creeps into your head. There will be that doubting uncle of yours at the dinner table that says, hey, Beto, but remember, this is a red state. And even I take your point, it is a non-voting state, but it is not a state that's going to be able to overcome Trump. He has the billionaires, he has the White House, the Senate, the United States Supreme Court, the governor's mansion, and the state legislature in the state of Texas. Who are you against all of that? And you need to respond to that person in your life, to that thought in your head. It is not who am I, but it is who are we against all of that. We need to come together, regardless of the differences before us in the primaries, in our race, in our ethnicity, in our gender, in our geography, in the countries from which our parents came. Today, more than we are Democrats, we are Texans, we are Americans, we are human beings, and we're going to fight like hell to preserve the last best hope of Earth, the United States of America. We are going to lead it here. Remember, and Adam touched on this earlier, we are the people who 250 years ago defeated the most powerful empire on the face of the planet to ensure that we would never again bend the knee to a king or a dictator or an emperor. It wasn't but 90 or 80 years later even that 300,000 Americans sacrificed their lives to defeat the armies of the Confederacy, the institution of slavery, and ensure that this country could adopt the 14th Amendment that guarantees that all of us are treated like the human beings that we are. And if you're born on this soil, you are an American regardless of where your parents came. No me importa. You are an American with us today, and we will treat you that way. 80 years, 90 years after that, the generation that left Houston, Texas, to land on those beaches in Normandy of June of 1944 to defeat fascism half a world away, to protect this democracy here at home. And then their sons and daughters of the civil rights and the voting rights movement here in Texas, they took on the armed and elected thugs of Jim Crow, and through the first president from the state of Texas, got the Civil Rights Act of '64 passed, the Voting Rights Act of '65 passed. That is who we are at our best. That's what we're made of. We've got to remember that as we go into this fight, and we have to stay together. Are you with me? Are we together? Are we going to do the work? Are we going to win? Let's get out there, Harris County. Thank you for having us out. Les agradecemos. Thank you. Thank you.